The Forgotten Letter. Once upon a time, in the cozy village of Willowbrook, there lived a kind woman named Eleanor. She was around 50 years old and now throughout the village for her warm heart. Eleanor resided in a lovely cottage that had been her family's for many years, a place filled with treasured memories and stories. One sunny day, as she tackled some cleaning in her attic, Eleanor stumbled upon a dusty old box. She decided to take a peek inside and was pleasantly surprised to find a collection of handwritten letters. These letters, she soon discovered, were from her dearest friend Sarah. Eleanor and Sarah had been the closest of friends during their younger years, sharing countless adventures and their deepest secrets. The letters, with their faded ink and yellowed pages, brought back memories of those carefree days. As Eleanor read through them, she couldn't help but smile at the fond recollections of their youth. The letters chronicled their youthful escapades, secrets whispered under moonlit skies, and the unwavering bond that had held them together. Eleanor chuckled at the humorous tales of their mischief, shed a tear at the more poignant moments they had shared, and was overwhelmed by the warmth emanating from the written words. However, as she made her way through the stack of letters, she came upon a peculiar discovery. The last letter from Sarah was incomplete, its sentences trailing off, leaving Eleanor with an unsettling feeling. She couldn't remember why it was never finished, and the events of her youth were starting to blur in her memory. Setting aside the unfinished letter, Eleanor decided that she wanted to find Sarah. She couldn't bear the thought that their once unbreakable friendship might have faded away. She longed to know what had happened to her friend and to rekindle the connection that had meant so much to her. With the incomplete letter clutched in her hand, Eleanor began her quest. She started by asking the townspeople of Willowbrook if they had any information about Sarah. The village was a tight-knit community, and word traveled quickly. People were eager to help Eleanor, a beloved figure in the town. The townsfolk shared what they knew about Sarah and her family, offering anecdotes and long-forgotten stories. Through their collective memories, Eleanor gleaned bits and pieces of information that could potentially lead her to her lost friend. Armed with these tidbits, Eleanor embarked on her search, eventually discovering an old address that dated back several decades, where Sarah's family had lived before their departure. It was a slim lead, but Eleanor clung to it as her only chance to find her dear friend. With the address in hand, she set out on a journey to locate Sarah. The roads, though once familiar, seemed longer and more winding than she remembered. The landscape had changed with new buildings and developments replacing the familiar landmarks of her youth. Eleanor's heart pounced as she arrived at the old address. The house that stood before her was a far cry from what she had expected. It was aged and weathered, with boarded-up windows and an overgrown garden. The place seemed untouched by time. Despite the odds, Eleanor mustered the courage to knock on the front door. She wasn't expecting any answer, but to her amazement, the door creaked open. She stepped inside, her footsteps echoing in the dim, dusty hallway. The air was heavy with the scent of neglect, and the only sounds were the echoes of the past. As she ventured deeper into the house, Eleanor discovered a living room that seemed frozen in time. The furniture was wrapped in dusty sheets, and cobwebs adorned the chandeliers. It was a place untouched by the hands of time, a forgotten corner of the world. Then, as she turned a corner, Elena saw her, an elderly woman, fragile and gray-haired, sat in a worn armchair. Her eyes, once vibrant with youthful energy, were now dimmed by the years. However, a glimmer of recognition sparkled in her gaze. Eleanor approached her slowly, almost afraid that the vision before her would vanish. "Sarah," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. The woman in the armchair looked up, and for a moment there was silence. A poignant pause that spoke of memories and lost time. Then a smile weathered by age, but still filled with warmth, spread across the woman's face. "Eleanor," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Eleanor and Sarah were reunited after many years, and the joy that filled their hearts was indescribable. They embraced, tears of happiness streaming down their faces. The years had changed them, but the bond of their friendship remained unbreakable. Sarah explained that she had moved away many years ago. Eleanor's last letter had arrived after she had left, and she had always regretted not replying. However, she had lost Eleanor's contact information, and as the years went by, she had resigned herself to the belief that their friendship was lost to the sands of time. Their reunion was a bittersweet moment, a chance to make up for lost time. Eleanor and Sarah spent weeks catching up on each other's lives, sharing stories of their experiences and marveling at how they had both lived their lives. They laughed at the follies of their youth and cried at the joys of their adulthood. It was as if their friendship had been rekindled with even greater strength. As the season changed and the years passed, Eleanor and Sarah became inseparable. They shared their joys and sorrows, celebrated life's victories, and comforted each other in times of need. They went on adventures together, and their friendship continued to flourish. Elena's kind heart and Sarah's wisdom created a beautiful synergy. Their friendship, rekindled by an unfinished letter and a determined quest, was a testament to the enduring power of human connections. They proved that time and distance could not diminish the bond between kindred spirits. In Willowbrook, where stories were passed down through generations, the tale of Eleanor and Sarah served as a reminder that friendship, like a fine wine, only grew richer with age. Their story was a testament to the enduring power of connection of two hearts, reunited after a long, winding journey through life. And so, in the charming village of Willowbrook, Elena and Thora wrote the final chapter of their friendship, one that spoke of reconnection, forgiveness, and the timeless beauty of kindred spirits.